Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics as Non-Classic. This is episode number 566 and Doubleshot number 470. Two Iron Man trades. First up, it is Invincible Iron Man. Volume 2, War Machines. Collecting Invincible Iron Man. I think this is Volume 8, I think this is. Issues 6 to 11, which this has been counted as part of the triple digit numbering when they resume for 600. I don't really remember exactly what it is. I had to look at my phone later. Now, as you see on the cover, yeah, Mary Jane Watson is, well, talking about taking the job offer. She does turn it down, but she does talk about next trade. Also, for return of the first time since the Matt Fraction run that this character has appeared in pages of Iron Man, War Machine. Yep, War Machine. Heck, they even have appearance by Spider-Man making a guest appearance, which not a bad idea because the guy was going all over the world during his, well, I would say the stuff going up the Clone Conspiracy. He was doing that. Yeah. So he teams up with Tony. Now, how it got Peter's number is that, well, Peter and Mary Jane used a date, so apparently she kept Peter's number as an emergency. So she called him, and of course they found Rhodey, which they run into the Tech Ninjas. Yes, these group of ninjas who popped up a couple more times after this arc wrapped up. They're led by a woman named Tomi. Yep, Tomi, who is an inhuman who can control machines. I'm not kidding about that. That is literally her power. And this storyline is her first appearance. After this, she pops up in the following volume, which Bendis also does with Ironheart. Have Ironheart take down her Tech Ninjas, but she's taken down fully by, not by Iron Man, not Ironheart, but Miles Morales, who goes undercover, who was requested to do this by Cable of all people. And yeah, the plot thread that happened at the end of the book for Spider-Man before Return, yeah, that plot thread has not been resolved yet. As for this I found to be pretty enjoyable. I know I've heard some people Comic Frontline didn't like the storyline because they don't like Mike Diodaro's artwork. They think he's too dark. I actually like his artwork. His artwork is one of those artwork I do enjoy. Though the last time Bendis worked with Mike Deodato was with another book that features somebody wearing an Iron Man type armor, and that's the Dark Avengers. Yeah, he was the artist for that run. He is the one who made Norman Osborn look like Tommy Lee Jones. Not kidding about that. I even own the first trade for Dark Avengers. No, I never reviewed it. Anyways, yeah, this was an interesting storyline. I gotta admit. Nice to see Tony again. Also, nice to see Spider-Man and Iron Man team up again. As far as I know, this is the first time that Spider-Man's appeared in pages of an Iron Man comic. I think the last time I can think of that he popped up in this book was before Civil War 1. Yeah, it has been that long. I'm not kidding about that. I actually know that was not the last time. The last official time off the top of my head was the Seven Nightmare storyline. That was I believe was the first arc that Matt Fraction did for Iron Man after Secret Invasion. So yeah, that was back in 2008. So when this came out I think this was 2016 this came out, 2016. So it's been like 8 years since Spider-Man popped up in the pages of an Iron Man comic. In the case of Rhodey, this has been the first time in 4 years since he popped up in pages of Iron Man. Because what the heck has he been doing since 2012? Let's see. Popped up in Secret Avengers, the second volume, of course. Had a brief ongoing series as Iron Patriot. Had a guest star appearance in Gambit. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, becoming a recurring character in Captain Marvel for some strange reason. Yeah, and then of course during Civil War 2 he died, which I'll get to that soon. If I ever get a chance to get the trade for Civil War 2, I will talk my thoughts on that ridiculous storyline. Yeah, and how basically Marvel kind of botched it a bit. But as for this This I found it pretty enjoyable, though this storyline also introduced us to not only to Tommy and her tech ninjas, but Riri Williams. Yep, she makes her debut in this storyline. Also, Tony's girlfriend that he has. Excuse me. Excuse me. She meets Doctor Doom for the first time. Amazing. I'm gonna get this book a 9.5 out of 10. It's a really good Iron Man book. Next up is Volume 3, Civil War 2, collecting the last 3 issues of Iron Man Volume 8, and of course the 3 issues of Mighty Avengers 9 through 11. Now the Iron Man issues are done by Michael Bendis and Mike Dodaro Jr. Who does Mighty Avengers? Why, it's Bendis and Mark Bagley. Yep, this is probably for the only comic outside of the Ultimate Comics books that Mark Bagley's worked with Bendis on something. Yeah, this is actually his second book that he's worked Bendis on. Though the last book he worked Bendis on top of my head was Ultimate End. Oh, and at the start of this, you're reading this, if you just read these issues and you don't know what's going on in Civil War 2, like, okay, so Stark Tower's been destroyed. Well, the second Stark Tower, like, how the heck did that happen? Well, there's an answer for that. I know the answer for it. The person who blew up his tower was Maximus the Mad. I'm not kidding. I mean, yet the Inhumans were actually blamed for the destruction of Stark Tower, and yet most of the royal family had nothing to do with it. It was all Maximus and Triton. Yep. And also, Tony Stark's company was in financial straits. And also, I should point this out, though, Iron Man's mother finally pops up in this book because, well, they just had an Invincible Iron Man, so have her appear as a recurring character in here. And, of course, this pretty much these issues kind of set up what goes on Riri in the next book. And sets up something that possibly Bendis is going to reveal in issue 599, which finally brings back Iron Man that's been in coma for 2 years. Yeah, in Civil War 2 got knocked to a coma. Yep, he did. I gotta say, these issues are actually pretty good. Despite being a Civil War 2 tie-in, not much to do with Civil War 2. I mean, the biggest thing I could think of, aside from destruction of Stark Tower, nothing really else is related to Civil War 2 in these issues. I mean, there's no major fighting. I mean, yeah, there's an interaction between Tony and Captain Marvel. Aside from that, nothing really much else. Oh yeah, they also have the funeral they also have Rhodey's funeral in here, which Tony misses. Yep, he misses the funeral. Though they also have that funeral in the pages of Sam Wilson Captain America, which they had pretty much almost every single black superhero in the Marvel Universe make a guest appearance with the exception of Blade. Yep. So at least that Nick Spencer does know about what the heck happened in Civil War 2, and the fact that Rhodey was no friend of Sam, so it kind of made sense to have the funeral there as well. This makes perfect sense as well, because, well, Rhodey made his debut in the pages of Iron Man. So there. But this is more set up for what's going to happen with the next volume, which didn't last very long. I think it lasted about 13 issues after the restart of the Civil War 2. And then it reverted back to original numbering for 8 issues. And then after 600, it's going back to number 1 as Tony Stark Iron Man with Dan Slott on the book. So basically, this trade is the end of the first volume of Bendis' run on Iron Man. Not very long, it's only 14 issues. That's the biggest disappointment about this run, is the fact that the first one was 14 issues and the second volume was like 13. Yeah, really, really short. Combined with issue 600 coming out, I think, next month. Excuse me, on top of my head, I would say Bendis has probably done a little, I would say 30 issues. Let's see, 13 plus 14, that's 27. Plus 8. So, he has written only 35 issues. So, yeah, that's quite short of a run. At the end of the book for about 3 years, he just leaves. Though he left to go to DC to do Superman. Yep. I gotta say, story here is good. Overall. Though they don't reveal exactly about the whole thing about what happened with Tony Stark's, well, Stark Tower. They don't reveal that here or Civil War 2. That is revealed in the pages of Kenny and Humans. No joke, that's where it's revealed there. At least Bendis made a tie-in for this actually count. That was only like one issue. Yeah, actually it was like 2 issues. But yeah, that's one thing good you gotta say about some of the tie-ins of Civil War 2. They actually do expand upon what happened in the actual series, and they don't contradict. This, I'm not surprised it didn't contradict because Bendis wrote the main series, so it makes sense that Iron Man is written consistently in that book and this book as well. I'm going to give this book a 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. I know my friend Edgar's also reviewed this run as well. As far as I could tell, he liked it. He really enjoyed this run. Well, these 14 issues. Riri, he liked her run too. And I probably will get a chance to view her trade soon if the library gets their hands on them. Alright? So, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode where we'll uncover 2 Deadpool trades. Yep, 2 Deadpool trades. But until I see you in the next episode, which will be episode 567, Doubleshot 471. Okay? Until I see you there. Bye.